Check, check. Screen share. Desktop. What's up, Ricky? Good to see you, man. Sorry, a little bit of delay on the link. I had to remember how to do this again. How was everybody's day? Green, red? Are we doing good to start the new year? Are we struggling? How is everything? Lost man tests up, man. So did I. Yesterday, I wanted puts, stopped me out. Today, it did what I wanted, and I was late, and then it kind of chopped in this little chop box today. But oh yeah, Tesla was that had me today. Bias killed you. Yep, that'll do it. All right, I'll give it a couple more minutes, but 30 to 40 people's been kind of the going rate here. Grease, I'm up and down, missing good entries and selling too early. Yeah, I mean the market is moving quick, so you gotta, especially on zero DTEs, you gotta be right and you gotta be right pretty damn quick. But yeah, today hopefully I can open some of your guys' eyes to some other stuff that is not um, Tesla and Nvidia, stuff like that. So hopefully it helps just a few people. Give just a couple more minutes. All right, everybody can see this main screen, right? Building a smart portfolio. I'm sharing the correct screen, hopefully. Cool. All right, well, welcome team. What do you define as a small port? Well, we're gonna go over that. Glad you asked. My name is startedwith1k. For you guys don't know or might be new or just joined, we had a lot of holiday sales over Christmas and New Year's, so there's probably a lot of new people in here, and I thought it'd be kind of a good idea to kind of go over, you know, people maybe that are totally new to options. Maybe they have a smaller port. We'll kind of talk about what that is. Some slower movers you can play. Some examples from the past week just to prove that they do pay. We're going to go over some realistic profit goals. What you should be looking at daily, weekly, over the year. Obviously, some things to watch and how buying these cheaper names you can buy time. If you're in SPY or QQQ, zero DTE, like you need to be right, pretty damn quick. If you get caught chopping around, those are going to decay pretty quick. But some of these I'll show you, you can buy 2 to 3 weeks time for almost the same price, and you can let it ride the whole day. If it's going in your favor, or you can swing if you secure profit, stuff like that. Then we're going to go over and chart some of these if some people need help with charting, and then kind of just want to do a little Q&A at the end if we got time. I'm sure there will be time, but basically just maybe a new trader question or maybe new to this year, but what are you guys struggling with? I feel like there's a lot of people that are, myself included, sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and so that's kind of what I want to get going with you guys, and hopefully we can get you guys on the right track. Portfolio size. What's small to you guys? If I say 1,000, if I say 2,000, that certainly doesn't mean that I don't think 1,000 or 500 is significant, but it is, because to me that's a lot of money. But when I use the term smaller port, I'm referring to what it allows you to play safely. If you have $1,000 or $500 port, you should not be playing Tesla or SPX or Nvidia or stuff like that, because that's some of those Nvidia entries are 50% or more of your port, and one loss on that and it's going to wreck you. And you're going to be sweating out because you're going to have 50% of your position in there. And so stuff like that, just because I say smaller port doesn't mean I don't think it's a big deal, because it is. But I know there's a lot of people that 1 to 2,000, 3,000, maybe 5,000. To me, that's still a little bit smaller. And there's people that I know that DM me and they're like, I only have a $200 port or 300. And so hopefully this lecture is for you to show you a few things, a few names on kind of how to get that going. Realistic daily and end of the year goals. So the two most important things when you're starting out, you really want to be focusing on the lowest risk possible. Don't trade the open. Again, don't trade zero DTEs. Like the purpose of this lecture and the purpose of growing a small port is to really, say you're starting with 1,000, it's really to build that buffer throughout the week or throughout the month. And then maybe if you feel comfortable and you're starting to trade good, you can add on maybe a few more contracts, or maybe you want to keep the same and you just keep that wave going. But a lot of people, what they do is, they'll start with $1,000, and when they double it, so if they get to 2,000, they will take out that 1,000 of gain and they'll reset it 1,000. So basically now you're playing with $1,000 free money or whatever it is, 500 to 1,000. You take out 500. But the focus of growing a small port is, like I said here, focus on the percent gains. The S&P in the entire year on average does about 16 to 18%. Obviously, we've had really good years. We've had less years than that, but it's like if you're getting a trade and you're making 25%, like you need to think of how good that is and how much that stacks up. 25% pushing a few buttons, you make that 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes, maybe in the day. Like you guys need to secure that. Stuff like this, I won't say who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone last week and they entered something similar to this, but they're in a smaller position. And we looked at the profit on their P&L. This wasn't the exact thing, but this was already something I was working on. And they said, I was in gains, but I didn't take it because it was only whatever. And so if you're getting into something that costs $30, say you're in a call and we push up to resistance and your profit is, you're at 0.38 or $8, like you guys need to sell based on the chart. You need to get in stuff based on the chart. You cannot be waiting for 300% gains because you want to flex and you want to put it in the gains tab. Like it's not realistic. Your goal, you guys starting out, if you're new traders again, or if you're just, new to this, you guys just need to stack that profit. 30 to 38, that's 25%. You do a couple of those in the week, throughout the week or a couple during the day, and you guys are gonna be sitting good. And so, like River always says, he's like, I'm gonna take the 10% every time. And so you stack those 15 and 30% winners, and you guys are gonna be sitting good. So I said some daily goals. Let's look at end of the year. What is possible with 1,000? Does anybody know, before I click on the next screen, $50 a day? How many days does that take to double your report on 1,000? $50 a day. Does anybody know? $25 a day. That may not seem like a lot. $25 a day. I'm going to show you how quick that adds up to put it in perspective. JB, what about those can only trade three? JB, I would say switch. So Robinhood, switch to cash account. Robinhood's, I'm assuming you're on Robinhood right now. They switched it. So whatever the setting is now, you do not need 25,000 in your port for that pattern day trader. So I'm on Webull. I'm not sure what it is on Robinhood, but ask someone or tag someone in TradeFloor. It's knowledgeable and they can help you out. Reese says 37 days. Let's find out. All right. There's a lot to go over here, but let's break it down. This is just to kind of show you guys that when you see, take a screenshot of this for motivation, do whatever you guys want to do, or this is going to be recorded. But when you guys, with the smaller ports, again, I say smaller, but, relative. When you're making $25 a day, it may not seem like a big deal to you, but I always say, if you're walking your dog after work and you see $25 on the ground, like, are you going to pick it up? Obviously, yes. And so when you're getting these $25 days, this is day one. There's 252 trading days, not 365, because we're not trading the weekends. There's 252 trading days a year. Let's take a look at this and break this down a little bit. If you have $1,000 port, $25 a day, look how quick this adds up. At the end of the week, you're up 125. Like this adds up quick, you guys. At the end of the year, you can turn 1,000 into 7,275 bucks. And I get it. You're not going to have 252 green days in a year. I get that. But if we're also, I'll go over percents in a day as well. But if you guys are up 3%, 5%, 10% of your port a day, like there's no way that you should go 10% green on your port. And at the end of the day in trade floor, go, man, I went green to red. I was up 10% of my port. And now I'm red 12%. Like if we're making this goal a curve and you're up 10% on a day, you're technically quote unquote ahead of the curve. You guys should stop trading or at least trade very, very lightly to protect, those profits. But like I said, 50 bucks a day in 20 days. So that's 4 weeks, 20 trading days. You average $50 a day, you double your account. Like how many of you guys are struggling right now that would love to double your account in 4 weeks in 20 days? Like this is good money. This adds up quick, you guys. Like all these little winners, they'd add up really quick. 1% a day, a little bit different. So, 50 bucks a day, your port can grow and grow and grow. And if you still say, hey, I make 50 bucks a day, I'm good with that. This will get easier because you are risking less of your portfolio as it grows. If you want to do 1% a day, it starts small and easy. So, 10 bucks, 20 bucks, 11. When you get down here, 1% after 30 days is different than your $50 a day, if that makes sense. Your 1% a day goal, I guess, of 1,300 is different than just your 50 bucks a day. And so again, the goal at the end of the day, actually at the end of the week, is to just try and end the week green, whether it's $1, $50, $200. If you end the week green, that's how you build your portfolio. But I just want to show this to you guys to show you what is possible. 2% a day on a $1,000 account. So you started last week, January 2nd. At the end of the year, look at 2% a day. Look at that. This is what's possible, guys. So you guys need to be realistic when you're up, again, 10%, 20, 30% of your port a day. Think of big long-term goals of what is possible. So yeah, the dollar amount will be easier because again, you less risk per day. So if you have a $2,000 account and you're like, you know what, I still just want to make 50 bucks a day. This will be a little bit easier as you grow your portfolio. The percent gain is just always a percent of your port. So that's going to get bigger. If that's a number you're trying to get, then, you're just going to have to take that risk on. You got to be ready for it. Does anybody have any questions on this? Hopefully it's an eye opener for some people. Like I said, this lecture will probably go pretty quick after we start doing some charting, but I just want to kind of show you guys of, someone in gains tab said they made, 10,000 bucks today. Like that's insane. What we're able to do here at OT. So, Pin, definitely an eye opener. Yes. And so honestly, my goals are different than this, but I know on, top of my head, what I want to do. I usually kind of go for a dollar amount. I don't press, if the markets are just not nice to me and I'm having some bad luck and getting stops out, I don't press to try and hit a goal, but I know in my head with my daily goals that I kind of look and strive for, I know what's possible at the end of the day. And it kind of keeps me level headed. There's many times, again, I won't say who I DM with, but at the end of the day, they'll DM me, be like, oh, we're having a good day. I'm like, me too. And I immediately tell them, I have no desire to trade anymore because I hit 2 or 3 good trades. I usually don't trade more than, 2, 4, 5 trades a day, basically. And so if I'm having a couple green trades at the beginning of the day, I stop and I let it ride. I help people in trade floor. I kind of do that thing. And so, what's the risk in 10K profit? Oh, so Sky, like a 10K profit chart. We got a little bit of time. Let me, if I can pull it up really quick. If I can't, because I do have it, I just deleted it because, this is a focus on smaller portfolios. So if I can pull it up in a couple minutes, I will get this for you. Let me see. All right, I think I got it here. All right, so just for perspective, here's 10K. I think I got it updated. Yeah, 10K port, $100 a day, 35K at the end of the year. Again, I don't want to do this to create FOMO, but this is just to kind of show you guys, what is possible basically on compound gains. You guys need to think big picture. You guys, we all have fun and trade for, but sometimes it gets a little wild and we're just like, you don't realize when you're up that much. Let me check chat. Was a maximum number of contracts you can trade at a time? I mean, as many as you want. If you want a full port and YOLO, Attorney Dan, that is up to you. You're pushing the buttons. Did you change? How do you change a cash? DM me. How do you change cash account on Webull? DM me, and I'll help you after class. But yeah, guys, think of what is possible. Like I said, you're probably not gonna have 252 green days in a year unless you're like Mad Flips or something. But like I said, if you can be up $200 on a day and your goal is 50, you technically got the gains for the week. So don't be afraid to slow down a little bit and stop, when you're up. Let's take a look at some trades. So I keep talking about some slower moving names, CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines. It trades, $15, $20. It trades in this nice range quite often. This is a 30-minute chart. I just want to show you. So some things to think about, how to find some cheap contracts. We're pushing, this is December, we're in an uptrend. We break this trend, and when we break, I should have colored this green, what I would call demand, which is kind of like a bounce zone. When we break this, I'm going to zoom in on the next chart and show you how you can potentially take a day trade on this or a swing trade and how it can pay. And so, take a look at this before I switch. So we are on this level where it bounce, buy up, bounce, buy up, bounce, and we break down. So when we break a key level here, you have to be thinking, okay, this trend is broken. Where's the price going to go? And so I highlighted a couple key areas in green that we can look for on the next chart. Here's a zoomed in version. Okay, so this is the chart zoomed in right here. So this section right here. And this is the options chart of puts. So when the price of the stock goes down, the price of your puts go up. So this green arrow here, if you said, hey, we broke this demand, we're right at support, we did not break over it, I'm going to enter puts here. So this green arrow is this arrow on your $18 or 18 strike put contract. So see right here, we're at 18. This is the strike price. So if you entered at 35 cents or $30, $35, you can take this. Remember, I showed you this green zone here. You can take this down to this green zone for a $35 entry, and you can take this down here. This is just an example. Help me. I'm just showing you it could be a potential swing or a day trade. So you entered here on this day, and you just got a nice trend down all day. Held EMAs, held VWAP. We come to this zone. Look at this. 35 to 58, 35 to 70, $35 to 58 to 70, 60%, 100%. Like, this is not a zero DTE. This has, if you entered this on a Monday, this has 4 days of time. This is the relaxing, what I call a relaxing trade. When you're in a trend and maybe you got 3 of these, maybe you got 2 of these, like sell them down here. And if you swing, like this is what's possible on these contracts. Like when everybody joins options trading, they think they're ready for Tesla and NVIDIA and SPX, and they're not. You're in SPX, a zero DTE, and you get one candle the wrong way, and you're down 40%, you're down $140 or something. Like, you guys are sweating it out on your small ports. Like, this is how you build ports. This is how you build confidence. This is how you get good at charting. Again, $35 to enter. And if we bounced over, your risk is very, very small. Like, the low of the day was probably 20, so somewhere up here. So you have a very small risk and a big downside. And so when the trade starts going in your favor, I guess before, you need to already know your profit zones. And so you'll see me tell people on the trade floor, zoom out, go the 1 hour. And so find these pockets of support. Like, we're trending down. You have to know where you're going to swing at. And so, like I said, 35 bucks to enter on $1,000 port, you could probably safely enter two, maybe three of these, and ride this and trim. You can't do this stuff with NVIDIA because if it goes against you, you're going to blow your port. So, if you took these, say this is the money you swung in a Tuesday, you took it down to the next zone, you secured here and you took it down to this one here. You said the market's trending down, $35 and 152 bucks. That is a damn good payday early in the week. A really good payday. Does anybody have any questions on this before I show them another name? But CCL, write this down. I'm going to give you a few other names at the end, but CCL is a great one. Do you do same week or next week? Again, it depends on where we are at and how much it costs. So if say this is Monday, say this was yesterday, let's just pretend this was yesterday, I will probably buy an 18 put that expires that week. If it's Wednesday, Thursday, I'm a little more experienced. I might still buy a weekly, but if you're new, you can buy time and you'll just basically have to check. I can pull that up for you. CCL right now. So right now a weekly. So we're coming into Wednesday. It's going to cost you 25 cents or 25 bucks. If you want a next week, it's about 44 bucks, so about double. So you can buy another 7 days of time. And look at this is a next week contract. I'm not saying buy puts right now, but actually this is kind of basing out. This could be, a good bounce zone for some calls here. So, say we held this level in the morning and you wanted some calls, you could get, a reasonable strike. Oh, this is not the right chart. Damn it. Sorry about that. There we go. Look at that. Ooh, this might be nice tomorrow, guys. Was not planning on showing this right away, but so it held that zone, that we talked about on the other slide. It held this zone. So, man, got the 50 here. This is the 30-minute chart. So it held this level for 3 days now. So 1750 strike calls tomorrow, next week, or even weekly. A weekly is 25 bucks. A next week, so you have 7 days time, $44. So 44 bucks, and the risk is very small. If we hold this, that might be a really good play tomorrow, guys. If we hold this tomorrow, your risk is very small. If we break through this, your risk is small, and you have nice upside here. Very nice upside. Does CCL get these $2 moves all week? That is a good question. I will sidetrack just a little bit to answer that question. So when you buy these cheaper names, you want to buy at key levels. So for me, if you notice or been around and see my charts, anything that's a thicker line are important levels to me. And so what I'll do is I'll move these alerts down here like this. Hope you can see this. And when this triggers, it says, hey, let me check CCL. I only buy at key levels. I don't really want to buy at 1691, even though it's a round number. I want to buy where if I buy in support here, I have a lot of upside potential. I have a small risk for downside. Or if we break this, I have big downside potential and small upside for reverses. And so it has to make sense. You guys cannot be, another thing is you want to be playing into key areas or around key areas. You don't want to just be buying because this looks like a big move on the chart, but look at the stock price. So 1710 to 1750, 40-cent move in the stock. So this matters when you're picking contract prices as well. And so if we're trading at 17, you need to be buying the 1750 or the 18. No questions asked. You cannot be buying a 30 call or a 25 call because it just doesn't make sense. You're going to get a move and you're like, the stock is going up, but my contract is barely moving because you're too far out of the money. So what is great about these is because you can buy a little bit of time for 44 bucks and you get at the money. So, if you have a small port and you want to buy NVIDIA, look at that, 700 bucks at the money. Like if you got to get something that fits your port, you got to buy something that is like $50, $60 out of the money, and it's going to go up and up and up. And Nvidia is going to go up. And then you go, what the hell's happened? It's going up, but I got this $600 strike price and my contract is barely moving. So the strike prices they have to make sense for you guys. Yeah, good question. Whoever asked that. Let's see. Can you show how to make the green box one? You've told me earlier, but just want to make sure didn't make it too wide. Yeah, I can't do that. So basically, again, I'm not going to call it supply and demand. Oops, don't know what I did there. Yikes. All right, well, I don't want to call it supply and demand because, that's not always correct. But when I'm drawing zones, the first thing I tell people do, go the 30-minute, go the 1 hour. So I might clear this chart if we have time at the end, and find where, or even the 4-hour or the daily, find where the price is gravitating towards, and you draw your support and your resistance. So like we consolidated, we broke out here, we come back here, like this is where I draw a box. Consolidation here, I'm drawing a box. Up here, I'm going to extend this because now we had weeks of consolidation but bouncing. So this was support, and now it's resistance. So if we say we take this tomorrow and we push, you're damn right I'm selling up here because I expect this to reject, because this was a big zone up here. Call it consolidation. This is a big zone up here. And so when we push up to here, you have to expect sellers are here. You have to sell into resistance, buy into support. You don't buy calls up here. Hope that helps you. Do you buy in the money? Good question. Sometimes. So if we are at, so we're at 1740, I think I said, yeah, I would probably buy 1750. But if we are at, say we're right here, say I caught this in the morning right here, I would probably buy, even though it's at 1707 or 1710, yes, I would probably buy a 17 strike contract because I want that delta move when it gets in the money versus buying that 1750 and getting that move. It would still pay. We can look at it here. Man, I screwed this up. I don't know how I did that. We can see what that would have done today. So January 12th, 17. If you guys click on anything other than the bid and ask on Webull, this will change it into it. So today is the 9th. If you bought this at open, man, I was way zoomed in. What the hell's going on? So you bought this around here. This is the open price right here. So I'm West Coast time. So the 9th at, is that right? Yeah. So we open, we drop down, and this is that little pocket right here of the options. So you could buy this at 42. If you held all day, you could take that to 62. So, the 17 versus the 17 and a half, that one did 19 to 35 basically. So yeah, the strike price does matter. What other stocks do you like in this contract price range? I will show you. Yeah, we're getting a little off track. So let me keep going here because I want to have time for some questions at the end, guys. Does it help if I go over some more of these, or is this just a lot of jibber jabbering? Like, does this help to kind of show you stuff like this, or do you guys just want a list of what I like to watch? So we got about 25 minutes. Okay, definitely helps. All right, I'll go over another one. Let me see. Let's see, XLE. I think I'll go over XLE. I might come back to Disney. XLE is a little bit cleaner. So Monday, January 8th, I did not take this, but it was a great one if anybody did. This was yesterday. So this is the chart, and this is the options chart again. So We sell down, and again, there's a big level here. You see my thick line. So I have alerts going off. We sell down. I say, we're coming into support. We buy back. So you hear people say, wait for the EMA touch, wait for the VWAP touch. So my purple is the 9 EMA, blue is VWAP, green is my 21. We sell down under support. We buy it back up. You hear people saying trade floor. I say to other people say it. We want to look for a break and retest. So we break over this tan line. We retest, and this white candle here is this zone here on your contract price. So you need to tell yourself, we broke down, we reclaimed support, we are now over VWAP, we're over the 9 EMA. If I get calls here, my risk is this zone here. It is my risk is small. So this is your risk level, this is your risk zone. Okay. So you buy here at roughly $65, 0.65, $65. Again, this green arrow is this candle roughly right here. So this little consolidation on the price is this little pocket right here. So let me get those annotations off. All right, and so we enter here. Your risk is small, and you need to tell yourself this is a big support. It's 82.48, call it 82.50. If we break under, look how small your risk is. You got in at 65, your risk is probably 50. So you're risking $15, and you tell yourself, I have this zone up here, I have this pre-market zone, I have this zone, I have all this to play and look for. And so when you enter a trade, you have to know where is my exit when I'm wrong, and you have to know where am I trimming at. I'm not trimming here just because, I'm trimming here because it's a resistance level, which was support. See this morning, you sell into support breaks is now resistance. You sell into these key areas. And so you buy it, we're calling it 65. You can sell here, what did I say, roughly $1.02. So look at that, quick 30%. And your risk was what? What did we say, 15 to 20%? So these are the type of trades you want to see. Again, I'm backtracking a little bit. It comes down to charting. If you guys cannot chart and you're just trading on your phone and you have no lines on your charts, like you guys are doing yourself a disservice. You have to know your levels, your key levels, and it doesn't take much. You can find a few names, and I've had XLE charted, probably for years now, and I don't adjust levels because price gravitates back and forth. And so $65 entry, you can take profit. This first one, 85. This next one, of course, is the next level. This is that pre-market level, $1.02. And you're like, you know what? This trade is trending this is the trade that everybody wants. We don't want the chop unless you're a scalper. We want a trend like this because you entered the bottom, and we are stress-free right now. We are in at 65. We're up to $1.02. We're up to $1.25, $125. This is a 90% trade, risking $65. Again, you had 4 days expiration, and you had easy level that says when you're wrong. Again, this is XLE. You guys should watch it. It's great. XLE, Exxon, CVX are great. They're both in here, but this is the energy sector. So does this make sense to everybody on this one? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. So kind of want some Q&A here. You guys can either type or talk. It'd be better if you talk, that we can kind of talk things out. But if you're new or if you're struggling, don't be shy, speak up. But I kind of want to know, what is everybody having trouble with? Either say you just started 5 days ago in your trading journal. What are you guys struggling with the most? What is the biggest hurdle for you guys so far, whether you're 5 days in or a year and you're still struggling? Selling too early. AG3 and T. Are you selling too early because fear of losses or fear you're in too heavy, or what do you think is the problem? Because I'm kind of want to figure out with people, how to fix those problems or nip them in the butt, so to speak. entries. Moving stop losses up too tight. That's a good one. Let's go over that one. All right. So you hear me say it a lot, but my stop losses are not on a percent, not percentage based. If I have to step away, yes, I will set a percentage stop loss. But if I'm in calls here and we push and we break through this level here and we push up here, my stop is this. My stop is not a percent or a dollar amount, it is this. Because I know if we break under, the trade is invalidated and I'm stopping profits. Assuming I bought down here, my stop losses are based on levels all the time. And so again, when you enter, going back to these contracts, this is not an entry based on percent. This is an entry based on a level here. And then knowing that I entered at $65, I can look at this contract chart and say, hey, my max pain, if I want to hold this low of the day here, is 40 cents or $40. If I enter at 65, if I hold through all this, if we break down here like this and I hold through all this, I'm willing to risk $25 basically. Yeah, Pin, knowing what levels to take profit. Again, those questions, you guys, in your comments, it all comes down to charting. If you guys are not charting and you do not have basic charting skills, you're doing a disservice. Like it's fine if you ask someone to trade for, hey, what's your next target? But if you're asking over and over and over and you're in trades, you guys need to chart because I'm up 35%. Should I sell? It's like, well, to not be rude, but what does the chart tell you? You have to read the chart. What does the chart tell you? And so the names I'm going to give you, I can start typing them up or telling you guys. Where did my watch list go? So here, if you guys want to write them down or screenshot them, it's no secret, but I messed my, I don't know what I did with my charting here. So Bank of America, BAC, CCL, DAL, Delta Airlines, Disney, DraftKings, FCX, that's metals, KO, Coca-Cola, one of my favorites, Pfizer, PFE, PayPal, Riot, Rivian, Shop, SoFi, AT&T, that's Trevor's favorite, Upstart, that one moves kind of fast sometimes, and then XLE and XLF. So take a screenshot, write these down, whatever you guys want to do. These are all, relatively small movers, and so, these are all going to pay, and the contract price is roughly the same. So, you can get a weekly contract under $100. So if that's your guys' game, and if you have a big port, buy a few of them. Let me go back to this. So yeah, what is your list of trading? Selling too early entries, moving your stop loss up too high too soon. Yep. Having a hard time drawing supply and demand. Robert, again, I wouldn't be fixed on, I guess for simplicity, for calling it supply and demand. We call this supply, we call green demand, but again, just focus on an area where the bounce, where the price gravitates towards. And so I'll just chart one really quick. Just
a text message to Kristen.
Oh, what's it?
She's here at her mom's house. Oh,
Dan, or agent or attorney Dan, I had to meet you. Your mic is open, buddy. All right, let's just chart one really quick on the fly. Reset chart. Nope. Clear drawings. How do I do that? Maybe I can't do that. Damn it. Oh man. Wish I had one that I didn't have already charted out for you guys. But basically, yeah, if we want to look at Delta Airlines, so I wouldn't call this a demand zone, but this is a spot where I want to mark that it's a key level that price keeps gravitating towards. This I would probably change to a thicker line again because price keeps going towards it. So you want to look, bounce, pivot, come down, pivot. Like you want to look at these areas. So support, 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 support. We break, and when we break hard. So you want to find these key levels. Again, these slower moving names, I wouldn't be on the 5-minute charting. I'd be on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, stuff like that. Struggling with understanding alerts placed by the trade analysis. JB, yeah, just if you see something pop up, ask them in trade force. Say, what is your thesis? What is your stop loss? It can be anything, because if they're sharing something that they like, they should be able to tell you that their trade idea. So they should have a stop loss in mind, a take profit, or if they're in puts and you're like, you know what, I don't see what you're seeing. What are you seeing? So just speak up, JB, and trade for it. Just tag them and ask them. You know, that's what we're here for. Again, the alerts are called trade ideas for a reason. They're ideas. Least complicated trading platform, John, I would say Robinhood. I don't know if Robinhood has proper charting like this, though. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if not. People hate Webull because it's China owned, but I'm a Webull user, so it works for me, but I use Webull. If you switch to Webull, ask me. Struggling to wrap my head around the psychology of it. Yeah, so man, there are so many times I DM River if I'm kind of have a bumpy road. I'm just like, it's, trading is a mental game. You don't take a play because your fear of loss or your previous loss, and then the trade goes in your favor, and you're like, why didn't I take that? Or you take something that reverses, and you're like, why the hell did I take that? That was stupid. It's, anybody, once you get good at charting, charting is easy. The mental psychology part of trading is what's hard. You can talk about this all day, but when you have money on the line, or you put $10,000 on the line, like, can you stomach that this is a good trade and it's legit, or am I chasing and I'm just trying to be greedy? So, time in the market and not being over leveraged, in practice will just, will get you better at it, but it takes time. Like, there's people, if you're a mechanic, like, you're not going to do an engine swap your first day on the job. Someone experienced is going to do it. If you're going to med school, you're not going to do open heart surgery right away. It takes time. Like, this shit takes time, and people think that they can jump in with $1,000 or $2,000 and YOLO every single trade. And yeah, you might get lucky, but you're going to lose some money and it's going to hurt. And once that happens and you try and make changes, that's when the progress will come. But until then, you just got to put the work in. Pin, can I send you my charts? Yes, I always tell people to send me charts, and they never do. A few people do. I DM people regularly, maybe 5 or 6 or 8 people every week that send me charts and ideas. But yeah, send me your charts, Pin, and I'm going to say I like it, or here's what I would adjust. But yeah, all those names I gave you, practice on those. Like I said, if you get a few of these names down, like, you don't need to watch 100 things. You can watch 10 or 15 of these, and you set alerts, and you wait for them to trigger, and that's it. Like, hang out trade floor, and when Delta Airlines triggers here at 42.15, you go to your chart and say, oh shit, we pulled back on support. Maybe I should look at this. So it all comes down to charting and practice. Okay, someone with a small port, specifically after had a loss. Sometimes we just buy 1 or 2 contracts. So when the analysis says trim, I don't do that. I just move my stop loss, and usually after the levels. Yeah, so if you're in 1 or 2 contracts and you're taking an analysis trade and they say trim, I would definitely be taking my profit. I would be selling those, because you're either in 1 or 2 contracts because your port cannot handle it, or you're new, or you're fearful. And if that's the case, like, you need to focus on, what the hell? Who signed out? Someone signed into this Zoom. Wonder who that was. Yeah, you guys need to focus on, being consistently profitable. That's what builds your portfolio. And so if they're, I heard Flips say, he's very experienced. I think he was in like 20 AMD calls. If he says trim and you're in 1 or 2, you don't hold because he's holding because you want to go to 300% because he is. When he trims, say he has 20 contracts, he might trim 15 And now those 5 contracts he has can literally go to zero and he will still profit on the trade. You or you guys that have 1 or 2 contracts do not have that leisure. And so when he says trim, you need to trim. And if it goes more, that's fine. But you guys need to build your portfolio up. You need to build so you can get into bigger positions. And when you start doubling your port, then you can take 3 or 4 of those AMDs. And when he says trim, you might get 4, sell 3 and leave 1. But you guys cannot be holding for 100%, 200% the whole time. It just does not work that way. Hattie, I don't know how delayed that is, but here's the list for you. I'll type them up too, maybe on trade floor, but yeah, CCL, Delta, Disney, KO, favorites, PayPal. I love PayPal. Rivian at the right time. Shop's getting a little expensive right now for smaller ports. T, just Ash River, he's really good at that one. Exley, I love that one. BAC, Disney, Shop, yep, PayPal. Slower moving stocks, I look for what time frame. Yeah, and so again, when I say I wasn't watching Delta Airlines here, and I have an alert. So when I trade, so this is my chart during the day. I have 3 charts up. I always have, this is a bit of a detour here, but I always have SPY. I always have what I'm watching. So like today, I'm an idiot, but I called Walmart and I didn't freaking take this shit, but said Walmart has a support. It reclaims 158.78, and I did not take this, but this is my on watch chart. So if something is triggering. So if I had an alert here and it starts going off, I move it to this chart, and then this is the chart when I'm in the trade. And so when this who asked this, yeah, what time frame? And so when this triggers, I will go to my main chart. I go the 30-minute and the 1 hour, and I go, okay, Delta Airlines just triggered. What is it doing? And I'll zoom out, because I do not, just because it, or Walmart, I'm sorry, just because this triggered here, I want to zoom out and see where the hell we're at. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to go the 30-minute or the 1 hour, and I'm going to go, shit, we sold down, support, hard sell. We push up, we break. Remember that break and retest. We break and retest. I'm going to go, man, this looks pretty good on the 30-minute chart. I might get some calls here. And I have a big chart I can look. I know, hey, if we break down this lower zone here, my trade is invalidated. But before I enter any trade, I'm checking the 30-minute, I'm checking the 1 hour, maybe in the 4 hour to see where we're at. There's no way I'm just going to, just because this triggers on the 5-minute or 15-minute time frame, I'm not going to dive in calls here, because I got to see where we're at on the chart in a larger time frame. Attorney Dan, my name starts 1K. I don't really send trade ideas. I kind of send ideas on trade floor, but no official tab. On Robinhood, you can view EMA's exponential moving average. So a lot of people use the 21, the 9, and the 21 EMA. I don't know why, but this is just kind of what everybody gravitates towards. So if you can't beat them, join them. So the 9, the 21, purple's the 9. You can make any color you want. You just color code it and stick with it. That way, when something crosses, you don't have to think about it. Blue's VWAP. We break over, I know, hey, that's VWAP. I don't have to think about it. Yeah, KO, Delta, CCL, yeah, great ones. Sony, what indices are you looking at when you look at these? Always, so kind of going back to this chart. Here. Yeah, SPY or QQQ is always on this chart. It does not leave. So, big tech, for the most part, moves the market. If I'm in SPY, you got to know what tech's doing, and you probably want to know what XLE energy's doing. So if I'm in SPY, I might pull XLE here, because energy is also in SPY. But the nice thing about QQQ is it's only tech. So if you watch Apple, which I think is 8%, Microsoft and Amazon. Those three names alone are like 15% of QQQ. So if Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon are trending up, most likely Q is trending up. So I kind of like tech a little bit better. So like, look at this big ass candle here, and look at Q. Duh, you know, like make trading simple, you guys. Yeah, DAL, yeah, that's gonna have to be on the watch list. To have a smaller risk, people says don't buy zero TTEs. Something bad will happen. We still have time to swing it. Question is, how can we know is it a good swing? A good swing is, you know, did you trim already during the day? Like, did you buy 10 contracts and you're down to one, and that one you can literally swing for free and go to zero and you still make profit? Okay, maybe swing if you have time, but don't be swinging, you know, it's Tuesday, don't be swinging a tomorrow expiration Spire QQQ, because you need, if you swing puts up here, you need a gap down somewhere here for it to pay, or you need a gap up on calls for it to pay. If we open flat, you're going to open 50-60% red. So don't swing just because it's red. Don't swing because, you know, you're getting chopped around. Like, if your trade plan is invalidated, then it's invalidated. You sell for a loss or for profit based on what the chart tells you, not because, oh, I'm only down 10%, I'll swing, or I'm up 80%, I'm going to be reckless, I'll swing. Like, you trade based off the charts. You guys, do not be reckless. If you want to be reckless, go to the casino. Zoom user, can you show an example what you mean by check around different time frames? Yes. So kind of talked about that a little bit, but Walmart, again, you know, 5 minutes we're bouncing again, you know, my alerts are going off, but where are we on the daily? So we may be bouncing here, but are we bouncing on like a level that makes sense? And so to me, like if we're, you know, if we're pushing like a level like this or something, it's like you don't, or maybe alerts are going up here, you know, you don't want to be, at least me, I'm not buying into this zone. I'm selling calls into this zone. And if we reject and get her some EMAs, you know, you can take a puts retracement, or you can wait for a retracement down to say this level, and you can buy calls for a bounce again. But again, zooming out to larger time frames will save your guys' ass more times than you can believe, because people just, they want to dive in, they don't know where they're at in the charts. You know, there's people will sell down. Oh, should I get puts? It's like, well, no, you should have been in puts when we broke, you know, last week's lows or something like that. And so JB, you need a better standing on charts. Write down this list, send me one or two. I'm telling you guys, chart one of these each day. It'll take you maybe 15 or 20 minutes. You can go the 4 hour on a fresh chart, or 1 hour, and you literally just look, you say, where does price go, and pivot? Where does it bounce and move? Like, I could draw a line here. We come down like support, 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 support. Damn it, you're going to draw a line here. Like, just when you look at a larger time frame, it becomes more simple. Yeah, you just want to, you basically longer time frame confirmation, and then when you're in the trade, 5 minutes, you know, you ride your EMAs, you ride your VWAP. Do you draw a wick out of body? I draw at the wick most of the time. Like this trend here, a quick look. I'm probably going to draw these. If I move this down here, you know, we got this here, and we're coming into here. I'm probably going to draw this once this touches here, because I want to see, you know, if I seen this trade today, something like this, bounce, bounce. When we come in here, I would be buying calls here, because you have this pocket here of support. So we break and retest, break, retest, you get calls here and you ride it up, stuff like that. All right, does anybody have questions? I'm not in a hurry. We are pushing 1 hour, but like I said, if we have questions, you know, what are you guys struggling with?
Can you hear me?
Else, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to
Can you hear me?
throw out a trade? How long do you stay in a trade, Attorney Dan? Again, it goes back to levels. If I'm in a trade here and I'm riding a trend, as long as it makes sense. If I only have one or two, I'll probably sell both here. But if I buy 5 or 6 down here, I'm taking half off for sure. And then I can ride this. And again, we push here, we hold. If we start breaking these EMAs, that tells me I'm going to cut and still be in profit. There's no way that I'm going to let this go up to 85 and come all the way back down to 65. Like that's bad. That's bad trading to let, or a 30% trade go back to break even. So levels on the chart tell me when to hold, when to sell. Yeah, it just depends how much time I have. And so, if I was in this with maybe a month time, I might swing one maybe. If I was in 3 or 4 and I sold 3 up here, I might swing one because I can afford a little bit of retrace to still make money on it. And so it all depends on, when you got in, how you got in, everything like that. All right. Anybody, again, I'm not rushing. Anybody have any questions? Did everybody get that that checklist on cheaper names? Again, my favorites, if I had to pick banks, I like BAC, travel. So this is cruises, this is airlines. Disney, everybody knows Walt Disney. DraftKings is sports betting. Coke is great. Pfizer's healthcare. PayPal. Riot and Mara, I only play when Grizzlies alerts or says to. Again, AT&T, you want to get at the money, ask River about that. If it's trading at 17, you don't need to be buying 19 or 20 strike contracts. JB, no, are you trying to talk? I cannot hear you. Where are you at on here? I'll see if I can unmute you, but I don't even see you on the list. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm skipping over it, but I don't see on the list in here. Huh. Do you have your mic activated within Zoom, JB? I'll definitely chat with you if you got questions, but I don't know. Oh, really? Do I have people muted? I can't hear anybody. I'm sorry if you guys are talking. My speaker muted. Maybe it was down too low. Is anyone talking now? Am I the idiot on Zoom? Is scalping possible with a small port? It is. Again, you need to be good. You need to be disciplined. You guys can play 0 DTs on everything I talk on spying QQQ, but you're just adding risk on. And so, if you're buying 0 DTs on stuff and maybe you hold calls through this and you get chopped around and you sell, it's like, 0 DTs, you pretty much have to be right almost right away. I say that, like, if you buy here, so local time minus 720, and you hold through 8 o'clock and you push this candle, say you bought this at 50 cents, $50, and you pushed here, you're probably now at break even because you held this for an hour on a 0 DTE. So like theta time decay is a real thing. And so when you're buying these, you need to have a plan. Like you cannot buy and just go, okay, we're gonna go to 406. Like, yeah, it's awesome we did, but you cannot have these wild price targets without first trimming. Like you need to buy at key levels on the EMA and sell when we pop, entry, retest. And so your price targets need to be they need to make sense. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry if you guys are trying to talk, but I cannot hear anything. Time decay, how do we know about it? That is theta. So on every contract, so this is the options contract, every single contract has theta. So these are expired today. So let's take a look. If you swung a 473 put and you paid $69 for it. Your theta, so if SPY opens flat, I can hear someone's mic now. iPhone, you're open if you want to talk. If you buy at $69 and we open flat, say we open perfectly flat, you're going to have this theta right here, $56 a theta. You're going to lose $56 on this contract basically for swinging because it's a 1 DT. It expires tomorrow and you swung it. So again, if you're swinging something expires tomorrow, you need a gap up or a gap down to make money. So every contract you enter, look at theta. That's the decay, $56. And yeah, that's only going to grow exponentially tomorrow as time, as it decays. Yes, I'm on Webull. All right. Last chance, guys. I appreciate you all guys for turning out, staying the whole time. We had some good questions. Hopefully this helps some people. Again, those names I sent you, if you guys are not good at charting, chart 1 or 2 a day. I'm telling you, it's going to take you 20, 30 minutes, chart it, send me a full screen, just say, hey, this is Delta Airlines, DAL, this is on the 1 hour time frame you're looking at. How do my levels look? Don't send me a zoomed in chart in the 5 minutes. I'm gonna say, show me more. And so, zoom out on the 30 minute and the 1 hour. You don't have to go back 10 years. Go back, the whole month of December if you want to. Chart out some levels, send me the chart, and I will be happy to help people that want help. It's the people that put the work in and send me DMs and want help. Those are the people I'm gonna be helping that I will help, but it's the people that are constantly, just asking for levels, not putting in the time and not working. And so, put the work in and yeah, you guys will start doing a lot better. This will be saved. Today's Tuesday, so maybe Thursday might be up. I don't know if Toasty or Joe is doing the uploads, but look for that. Scotty, send me a DM, or maybe that's your Discord name, and I'll direct you where they're uploaded at. Yeah, just so you guys know, my name is startedwith1k, started with 1k. So find me in Trade Floor, and I'll be happy to help you all. So let's have a great year, guys. Talk to you later.